All right, there we go. So what we're doing is we're jumping into the Aetna Supplemental Products Part 2 training. The very first part of our training was essentially us doing an introduction to the Aetna Supplemental Products. So we kind of showed you guys getting logged in, what their quoting platform was, what it looked like, what it was for, how to build out a quote. Today, we're going to be more focusing on the hospital indemnity, the short-term care product, the recovery care product, because these are the types of products that when you go into someone's home, you are going to, if you meet with someone and they've got a Medicare Advantage plan and it is the plan for them, they're really excited about it, they like their plan, and you know what? In good faith, you can't replace this plan. It's doing what it needs to do for the person, or maybe they just have an SEP, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do for the person. And I want to reiterate, the goal isn't to just get a sale, just so that you get a sale. We don't want to be those people who are selling things that they don't need. But the purpose of this training is to try to guys understand how you can position these products to in that need while you're sitting down with someone, and for you guys to say, hey, you know what, actually this product does make a whole bunch of sense. I can sell this product to someone who's got a Medicare Advantage plan. There was nothing else I could do in the home. I have a fact finding process, and I'm going to try to help find those holes in this person's Advantage plan to try to help them cover those holes with these products. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to aetnaseniorproducts.com. That's the name of the website. And they do have a seamless recognition. This is not the same website that you're going to go to check your Medicare Advantage business. It's not the same website. Okay, that's Producer World. However, you shouldn't really have a problem logging into this website if you are registered on the other website. It's supposed to recognize you on both sides, since Aetna is kind of managing everything in-house now. On the supplemental side. So we're going to go ahead and go to login, and we're going to go to agents. I've already got my login already plugged in here. If you could register down here if you don't already have your login, and then this is going to be the platform here. And the thing I really like, it looks like I've got an alert or I've got a message. As soon as you log in, you're going to see your alerts and your message, and it's going to have your commission statement that is most recently available. Anytime you have Medicare supplement members where they're or any kind of supplemental products, if someone requests cancellation, it'll email you that they've requested cancellation. It'll also drop a letter in the mail to you as the agent that they request cancellation, and you're also going to have an alert inside your platform. I mean, this platform is actually really great. I really love it. It really helps you manage your business. It does a really great job managing your business for you, giving you alerts on things like when premiums are increasing. So you'll know that if you're a Medicare supplement, if the premiums are increasing on those policies, you're going to want to start calling those people. It's just, treat it just like if someone has a Medicare Advantage plan and it's going to heck next year and that plan is falling apart next year, you're going to want to call that person, right? And let them know, hey, your plan is taking a dump. I'm going to want to, put you on a different plan. Same with the Medicare supplements. When you see that someone's premium is going up substantially, go in there, grab their information, run a quote, see if you can get them a lower price with another carrier. And if you can, pick up the phone, call that person and say, hey, your premium's going up. I want to help you. And so their platform gives you all the tools you need to do that. So we're going to go back home now. We're not going to spend too much time on that, but I want to take you to the quote and enroll platform. So you guys, this is familiar for you who either attended the last training last week or viewed it online on our YouTube channel. So this will be familiar for you. So I'm going to wait for this guy to load up for me here. Sometimes it takes a second. And just so you guys are aware, I mentioned this in the last training, but it is common for this process or this program to work better on Chrome. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not the biggest fan of Chrome. I pretty much use Safari for everything if I can get away with it. But it's going to work better and smoother and typically be faster on Chrome. So for those of you guys who do have Chrome, or you're a Windows user, you have a Chromebook or something like that, if you use Chrome, you're going to have more success. So moving forward, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and build a quote. I usually just always shoot for 85021 because 85021 is like right in the heart of Phoenix. So I use that because a lot of times there are certain products that are out there on the market, as you guys probably know. There are products out there on the market that will give you a higher premium the premium has a higher margin for certain zip codes or certain geographical areas based on how condensed they are and how many people live there. So I always go for 85021 because if that product does have a higher premium based on zip code or based on region, right in the heart of Phoenix is usually going to give you the highest premium. So rather than, getting an overview of certain products where the premium might be lowest, I usually look at where the premium might be highest. And I'll know that in certain situations, certain products, the premium might be lower, best case scenario, but it'll never be higher. So I always go to 85021. And let's say you're dealing with someone let's just say you're dealing with someone who's, I don't know, they've been on Medicare for a few years. Let's say their birthday is January 1st. And let's just say it's 1954. So you've got a 67-year-old, and we're looking at quoting them for a policy that's going to start 03/01/2021. Okay, so March 1st, you're visiting with someone this week. Let's say it's a female. She doesn't use tobacco, and her name is Jane Thomas. Okay, obviously just generic name, whatever. We're not going to put an email or a phone number in here. I would encourage you to obviously do that as you're building a quote. Fill these two things out, but I'm not going to do that. You can also do applicant B, which is basically a joint applicant for spouses or people living together, etc. You can go ahead and build two quotes together at the same time, add them to the cart, and you can actually do a joint application, which is really nice. We're not going to get too hung up on that here today. That last training that we did last week was more for people learning how to use this platform. Today, it's more diving into a couple of products that I think are really going to help you. So once we have the age, date of birth, we know who we're working with, we're going to click View Products, and it's going to give us their product line down here. So we've got a lot of things, guys. We've got Medicare Supplement with Aetna, Medicare Supplement with Haciendo. Haciendo is a new insurance company that was rolled out by Aetna. I have to be totally honest with you guys. Haciendo Insurance Company, part of CVS Health family of companies, and Aetna affiliate. I have to be honest with you guys. I honestly don't know the point of Aetna having two products. Everything I've jumped on a couple of calls, Aetna does not plan on getting rid of their Aetna, American Continental, Continental Life. They do not plan on getting rid of this Medicare supplement product. They're just going to have two. I don't understand why. I don't know, but if you are contracted with Aetna, you should be expected to sell the Haciendo. So you can go ahead and quote both products and see which one is going to give you a better price. We also want to make sure that we're going to get paid a healthy commission on there. So I can actually deep dive into that a little bit later. Prescription drug products, they do have the ability for you to do, for it to take you to the SilverScript portal. You're not going to quote your prescription drugs on here. You're actually going to be taken to the SilverScript website for you to do that there. So that's that. Here's all the stuff that you're going to be able to do here. You're going to be able to do the two Medicare supplement products here. You're going to be able to do the final expense product, which is pretty great. Dental, another final expense product with American Continental. Haciendo has it. Obviously, cancer products, heart attack, stroke, home care plus, recovery care, hospital indemnity. So these three products right here are where we're going to be putting our focus today. These are the products that are really going to help you guys make a lot of additional money during lock-in. Also, we've got this final expense product up here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The Aetna final expense product, there's one thing I want to hone in on for those of you guys who are life licensed who think you might want to try to sell some final expense. We'll do some other trainings on that. Bob Buckshaw has a lot of background and experience helping agents get final expense sales too. So he's familiar with those product lines. So feel free to maybe give him a call someday or give me a call someday. I'm sure Bob would love to help just give you some advice. I could give you some advice too. With final expense products, it's very, very easy to get caught up, just like in Medicare supplements. It's very easy to get caught up in who's got the lowest premium. Final expense products are always fighting for the lowest premium. The Aetna product is not going to have the lowest premium. Here's what it is going to have. It's going to have a somewhat competitive premium. If you've got someone who's healthy, they're going to pass underwriting. It's going to be really easy to get them issued, and they're in their 70s. Their plan is going to be somewhat reasonably competitive with the Mutual of Omaha's out there. They're not going to be as good, but they're going to be close. But where you're going to find value is being able to combo products. So you're going to be able to come in here and add a dental and a final expense product and a home healthcare product, and you can add all three of those products to the cart and you can combo sale someone. And so it might be worth it to do that, even though they're going to be a couple of bucks extra if you could get that combo sale and they know that they've got all their insurance with one company and with one producer, and it's making that person's life easy. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the hospital indemnity. We're going to spend probably most of our time here on this hospital indemnity because this product is really great. This product is going to be more expensive than UNL's hospital indemnity. It's going to be more expensive than a couple of other carriers' hospital indemnities. But guys, there's a reason why. There really is. So I like to tell everybody that there's a huge difference between the phrases inexpensive and cheap. There are certain hospital indemnity programs out there that I wouldn't say that they're overall cheap, but I would say they're cheaper. They are cheaper than this product. I wouldn't say they're less expensive. I would say they're cheaper, meaning there's just not as much value in those products. That's why they cost less. When you have a product that is inexpensive, that means obviously you're getting a really good deal. There's a lot of value for the product. That's, in my opinion, what you're going to get here with Aetna's hospital indemnity program. So let's say you're sitting down with Jane or Jane Thomas. So you're sitting down with Jane Thomas, and she has got, let's say, the United Healthcare Medicare Complete Plan 2. Okay. And let's say she's got, $20 copay at the doctor. She's got a copay at the hospital, $175 a day or whatever their hospital copay is now, $150 or whatever. Not that it really matters too much, but we're sitting down with Jane, and Jane really likes her United Healthcare Plan 2. She really digs it. There's no issues that she necessarily has with it. But her problem is that she lives alone and she had a hospital stay last year and she had a pretty reasonable copay and she's still on a payment plan. She's still trying to figure out how to pay that plan off or that hospital copay off. And then after that hospital copay or after that hospital stay, and this has happened to a lot of us several times. This has recently happened to me recently with a client that I have out in Mesa where she was in a hospital and then she got moved to a skilled nursing facility and she had PD plan. Now, if you guys aren't aware that this happens, trust me, this absolutely does happen. So a lot of times clients will land in a skilled nursing facility and that skilled nursing facility will call the MAPD plan and they will verify benefits. And when they verify benefits, they will come to the conclusion that their MAPD plan has maybe a $0 copay days 1 through 20 at the skilled nursing facility after hospitalization. Okay. But after days 20, 21 through 60 or whatever, that person might have a $175 copay. Well, trust me, guys, this happens. That skilled nursing facility is going to do everything in their power to get that person out of that facility by day 20. Even if that person is not ready to go home and not ready to be there on their own, that hospital, that nursing facility, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times it's common that they're going to really try to push that person out. I recently had a client that got pushed out, ironically, on day 20. They're discharging her on day 20, and this client was not even close to being ready. And I'm not stupid. I know why they were doing it, because she was going to have a copay after that. And the skilled nursing facility realizes that if that person's got a copay, it's pretty unreasonable to assume that that person's probably not going to, it's reasonable to assume that that person's not going to have $175 a day right there, right? A lot of these seniors, they're used to this. They understand that these people a lot of times don't have the money to pay right away. So you got people being sent home. So this policy, you're going to have a lot of these different riders that are available on here. You're going to have daily skilled nursing facility benefit riders that you can add, a doctor's visit after a discharge in a hospital, whatever amount of benefits, copays you want. Let's say someone gets discharged from a hospital and they've got physical therapy and they've got multiple physical therapy visits scheduled after a major hospital or a major accident or a major surgery, and that person's got a $35, $40 copay. These are the things that we want to make sure that we have covered. So when we look at the benefit amount of the hospital administration, we've got a couple of things. We've got a one-time payment of hospital admission indemnity. So what that means is when you go to the hospital, they're going to just pay a flat lump sum of either $250, $500, $750, $1,000. You guys get the point. So if they paid just a flat lump sum of $1,500, and then we hit, oh, excuse me, my computer's lagging a little bit here. Sorry, guys. So if we scroll down and we hit quote, it's going to give us a number. So if for $54, if this person lands in the hospital, no matter how many days they're in the hospital, they're going to just get a flat $1,500 cope or $1,500 benefit amount, where the insurance company is just going to write them a check. Now, you might not go that direction. I actually used to sell a lot of that, and then I eventually started selling a little bit more of the day-to-day benefit. But this is the lump sum benefit. And then you have the ability, it's going to actually show you the quotes of the different riders that you have that are available here. And these riders are going to add $10, $4.77, $11, 46 cents, $7.21, $8.40. So let's say that person says, I'm really worried if I land in the hospital again, I'm still paying off that last hospital bill. Well, Jane, let me ask you a question. If I and this is how I used to position it, guys. And I'm going to actually go to the daily benefit here, and I'm going to do let's do $200 a day. I always like to give someone a hospital indemnity plan that pays a couple of bucks more than what their current MAPD plan is charging per hospital copay. And I don't necessarily do that to put money in the person's pocket. I do that to protect against inflation. I do that because it's pretty likely that at some point in time, that MAPD plan is going to have a higher copay in the future. It's just realistic to assume that those costs are going to inflate, or it's realistic to assume that we might move that person to an MAPD plan that's going to be better for them, but maybe it has a higher hospital copay, but maybe the other benefits are better. So we want to protect that person. And I think that it's easy to foresee in the future that $200 a day, and let's say for 10 days, I think $200 a day for 10 days is going to leave that person relatively comfortable. Even if that person has a copay of $225 a day, they're only going to be stuck with 25 bucks. This policy is going to cut a check directly to the member so that they can pay their hospital copay. So I'm going to show you guys how I used to position this. I'm going to go ahead and hit quote down here. And that's going to be $26.66 a month. Now, here is exactly my sales pitch. And I got to tell you, it's a good one. Someone taught me this one, and I used it, and I used to sell the heck out of this thing. So I would be sitting down with Jane, and I would say, okay, Jane, so I've got a couple of options for you. I'm going to give you a hypothetical. If I was to sit down with you today and I showed you your United Healthcare Medicare Complete Plan 2, I showed you that plan, that AARP plan, and I said, hey, Jane, this plan costs $0 a month, and when you go to the hospital, you're stuck with a copay of $150 or $175 a day, and it's going to be days 1 through 7, or I think it's 150, 1 through 7, I think is what it is. And so if I do the math, and you'll go ahead and do the math right there in front of your client while you're sitting down with them, and you'll say, Jane, if I go to the hospital and I'm spending $150 a day times 7 days, I could be out of pocket $1,050. Jane, I have a question for you. I have 2 plans that are available for you. One plan is this HMO, and it's $0 on a monthly basis. It costs you absolutely nothing on a monthly basis, and when you go to the hospital, you could be out of pocket $1,000. I've got this other plan over here, and it's $26.66 a month. But when you go to the hospital, you pay absolutely nothing. If I was to give you those 2 options, which one do you think you would pick? And what I found is that when I proposed it that way, almost every client would say, wow, so I got a plan that's $26 a month, and if I go to the hospital, I pay absolutely nothing. I don't pay anything. I don't have a deductible. I don't have copays. I don't have any of that. I pay nothing. That's exactly right. Honestly, guys, unless your client is completely freaking broke and they have no money to spend, most of them are going to say 26 bucks a month is absolutely a fair price to know that if I go to the hospital, I'm never going to pay anything. I'm going to have full-blown coverage. I might actually make a couple of bucks on the deal, and that's not the point, but I might make a couple of bucks on the deal. And so let's say you were to go to a skilled nursing facility, okay? Let's add the skilled nursing facility benefit on there, and let's talk about this. And let's add the doctor's benefits on there and talk about that, because that doctor's benefit is going to be really good for people who need to come out of a hospital and get physical therapy for multiple visits or have multiple follow-up specialist visits, okay? Or there's an outpatient surgical procedure benefit that you have on here too. I mean, this policy is really rich, okay? So let's say we've got this client and they want to add the skilled nursing benefit, and the benefit is we're not going to do $10 a day because that's pay for squat. But let's say their skilled nursing benefit or their copay on their MAPD plan is $170 a day or $175 a day. But we don't want it covered on days 1 through 20 because most Medicare Advantage plans are going to have a $0 copay days 1 through 20. So let's do an elimination period. Elimination period means it's not going to cover the first 20 days. It's not going to start paying anything until days 21 through 100. So let's go ahead and add that. And let's go down and let's hit quote and let's have it rerun those figures. Okay, so the daily skilled nursing facility benefit is going to be an additional $15.87 a month. Okay, so let's add that. So now if someone goes to a hospital, they're going to pay nothing. If they go to a skilled nursing facility, no matter how long they're there, if it's Medicare covered skilled nursing, they're not going to pay anything. And then let's do, let's do outpatient rehab services, $50 benefit. That's going to be outpatient rehab. That's going to be like your physical therapy and things of that nature. Okay. So let's say we want to cover 30 visits at $50 copay. Let's hit quote. Let's see what it changes it to. $5.49. So basically, here's what we've given this client. I could give you a plan that's $0 on a monthly basis, Jane, or I could give you a plan that's $48 on a monthly basis. But here's what that $48 plan is going to get you, Jane. When you go to the hospital on your United Healthcare plan, now you pay nothing. If you go to a skilled nursing facility, you pay nothing. And if something happens and you need physical therapy, whether they're coming to the home because that's also outpatient, or whether you're going to a physical therapy facility, Jane, you can see that your MAPD plan, you have a copay right now. I could get rid of that copay for you. So we're positioning this plan at $48 a month, but what it's doing is it's giving them a plan where they're not having any of those costs on any of those services. And I want to really encourage you guys to not look at this plan as if you're going into someone and you're trying to sell them something. Build that value and help them understand that some of these major areas where they can have a lot of out-of-pocket expenses. I mean, this outpatient surgical benefit's only an additional $10 a month. This lump sum cancer benefit of $2,500 is only $7 a month. This ambulance benefit of $200 is only $8.40 a month. So what we'll do is, as we're going through these areas, my recommendation would be to ask the clients, what are some of the things that scare you the most? Ambulance cost, cancer expenses, nursing facilities, additional doctor's visits following hospitalization, outpatient rehab services. Guys, this isn't going to just pay for rehab just because they're going to rehab. They have to have hospitalization and then get rehab afterwards. They have to get surgery and then have rehab afterwards, and it'll trigger, right? So basically, you'll figure out what the pressure points are for this person, but it's really, really important. I think almost all of us would agree. I would rather pay $48 a month for my insurance and have no cost for outpatient rehab, no cost for hospitalization, no cost for skilled nursing facility. I'd rather have that for my mother than my mother having a plan where it's $0 a month. But if she ends up having any of those things, I'm going to end up having to flip the bill because she's not going to have the money for it, or she's going to have to flip the bill on her own. So before I move on to some of the other products, I want to take an opportunity to hear what your guys' thoughts are and answer any questions. But first, I want to just remind you, I've had a lot of success building this in a way where instead of letting the client know, hey, I could sell you a plan that's going to pay for this and pay for that, rather allow the client to see that vision of saying, hey, would you rather have a plan that's $0 a month and you're going to have all of these costs? Or would you rather pay $48 a month, which I know $48 a month is a lot for someone who is on a fixed income, but would you rather have a plan that's $48 a month, but when you go to the hospital, you pay nothing, skilled nursing, you pay nothing, outpatient rehab, you pay nothing, or ambulance, you pay nothing, cancer, it's going to pay you out $2,500, would you rather have a $0 plan that covers none of those things, or you have expenses out of pocket, or would you rather pay $48 a month and all that stuff is covered? You'll be really surprised at what people are going to say. And so what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I think you guys should have the ability to unmute yourselves if you guys have any questions. So what I'll do is I'll actually go ahead and, I think you guys are unmuted at this point. So if you guys want to say anything, does anybody have any questions specifically on this product so far?
Hey, Brent, do they
Yeah.
offer a multi-product discount if you buy, more than one product at Aetna?
It does not offer a multi-product discount, but it does offer a household discount. So if you have two people in the home that are purchasing products, it'll offer you a discount at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a really, really sweet plan. It's going to cost more than the UNL hospital indemnity plan, and there's a good reason why, guys. The UNL hospital indemnity plan, just for a quick example, that plan is only going to have a $10 per year per calendar year hospital benefit. It's not a bad plan, but it's only going to pay a hospital benefit 10 days per whole calendar year. So if you have a hospital stay where you're there for 6 or 7 days, you've only got 3 days left that year of benefit built onto that plan. It's really inexpensive, but it is a cheaper plan. It's not going to be as robust in benefits. This renews. This is a $10 covered per hospital admission. If you go back to the hospital again, it's going to have another 10 days. And if you go back again, it's going to have another 10 days. So that's why this policy is going to be it's going to have more girth to it. Does that make sense? So let's say our client says, look, that sounds great. That's the one I want. We're going to click add to cart right here. And it's going to throw it up here into our shopping cart. And then we're just going to do start enrollment. It's going to give us the ability to send that enrollment to that client electronically where they could sign it, or you could do it right there. Or there are paper apps you could do if you want to do it old school. And then you can add other products to the cart as well if you want. So what I'm going to do is, it doesn't really sound like anybody has any questions. I'll give you guys one more opportunity, and then I could jump into the other two products. Okay.
Hey, can I ask you a question, guys?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Jeff. So what's the turnaround? Is it a 60-day benefit period on this, or what? What is the benefit period? And also, how does it cover observation? Again, I can't remember.
So if this is a hospital, this is a hospital admission indemnity. So if they're admitted to the hospital on the left side here, Jeff, but this is a daily hospital indemnity. So
Right.
From what I understand, and I actually researched this, if they're in the hospital for admission, I believe that this still pays the daily benefit, but it won't pay the lump sum benefit if you've selected that, because you do have to be admitted. The daily benefit will pay. As far as the turnaround, I mean, this is just a straight hospital indemnity plan. So if someone lands in the hospital, we select the amount of benefits we want it to pay, and it's just for that hospital stay. It'll pay up to 10 days worth of benefits. Now, if we go to the hospital again in a couple of months, it'll trigger another benefit, 10 days worth of benefits. If we go to the hospital again, it'll trigger another benefit, 10 days worth of benefits. Does that answer your question?
Kind of like, well, of course, I know about UNL, but GTL has a 60-day benefit period, which is good too, because you're still covered within the 90 days on most Medicare Advantage plans, and then the benefit ends, after 91. And then if you have a GTL with 60 days, it recharges before the 90 days is up. And then also, it does cover 100% for observation. And does this cover observation that way as well? That's kind of what
I'll have to look into the observation question, Jeff. I'll have to look into it, and I'll have to find out. But I know that this policy, I don't know that it necessarily has a recharge, in the sense that, like, if you're in the hospital after a certain amount of days, it'll re-kick in and it'll start paying out again for another 10 days. This is just essentially per hospital stay. I'm almost positive that it's not going to recharge. It's per hospital occurrence. It'll pay $10. You can obviously juice that up to 20 days if you would like. But it's only going to be $10 days worth of hospital benefit, which is what you've selected. And then you select your benefit amount, and then in order for it to trigger another 10 days worth of hospital benefit, you have to be released from the hospital and you have to go back. So it's not like after 60 days it'll recharge, like you were saying. I'm almost positive that it doesn't do that, but that is a good question, and I'm gonna go ahead and find out.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. Good questions for sure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove this policy here. We're not going to quote that anymore. And let's look at the Home Care Plus or the Recovery Care. Let's look at the Home Care Plus plan. Oop, didn't mean to click on that one. Home Care Plus plan. So essentially, if we look at the Home Care Plus, by the way, guys, on any of these products, when you open them up and you expand them, you're going to see the product brochures here and the outlines of coverage. Outlines of coverage are going to give you more detail on how the policy is actually going to work in specific circumstances, or you could just look at the brochure. So as we pull up the brochure, here's our brochure on this product. Here's our nice old people with their family, kids in the background. That's great. Nice generic shot here. Okay, so notice to buyer, this is not a Medicare supplement. You want to make sure that you let your clients know that because there's no place like home. So guys, really this product is designed specifically for people who might need assistance or care at home. And what I want to encourage you guys to do and to really start trying to sharpen your skills is to understand that you guys are insurance advisors. You guys are not just insurance salespeople. An insurance salesperson is someone who says, hey, what do you want? Oh, I want this. Okay, I'll sell it to you. An insurance advisor is someone who helps their clients understand, you probably don't even know, Jane, that you need this, but let me explain why this product is important, and let me educate you on why you need this product. Obviously, we can't tell everyone that they need the product, but there are going to be times where we're going to see a client and we're confidently going to be able to tell them, I think that this is a product that would be good for you, especially when you're running into people who are single, or if you're running into a married couple and you hear that, and you were to ask them, hey, what would happen if one of you guys was to bite the dust really hard? And, the wife says, it's almost always the wife who says, oh, well, if my husband was to bite the dust and he was to be, here at home and he needed care, I would take care of him. And I know that this sounds like a really cheesy story, but this is a genuine, true, real story that I can actually tell my clients about my grandparents. It's not a sales pitch. This is a real story. It really happened to my grandparents. My grandfather was struggling and he was withering away. He had cancer and he needed care. And this was back in 2009 and 2010, when the VA hadn't gotten their crap together yet and everybody hadn't come down on the VA, and my grandfather was a disabled veteran and he was on a waiting list. And so there was really nobody there to take care of him except for my grandmother. And we didn't really know that my grandfather's situation was as bad as it was. So we tried calling my grandmother one day. She wasn't answering the phone. I called the next door neighbors because we know them well. We asked for them to go check on my grandmother. So the next door neighbor, she ran over, Edith, and she ran over and she was knocking on the window, knocking on the doors, and she heard my grandmother yelling. So eventually she busted in a window, climbed into the house, and my grandmother was trying to help my grandfather to the bathroom, to the toilet, basically. And she was trying to carry him, but my grandmother is this 5'3" little Italian woman, and my grandfather was a 6-foot tall guy, and he was big, right? And so she was trying to help him. She was pushing him on the wheelchair. She was trying to get him out of the wheelchair because the wheelchair wouldn't get through the door, and she was trying to get him in there, and he fell on top of her. So he fell on top of her, pinning her to the floor between the doorway in the bathroom, between the hallway and the inside of the bathroom. So he was laying on top of her. She broke her collarbone, she broke 3 ribs, and she had to get surgery on her shoulder, huge, massive reconstructive surgery on her shoulder. He laid on top of her, pinning her down for over an hour and a half before they were found. My grandmother needed care after this. So we run into situations where you've got these people saying, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of my husband. And it's like, really? Do you actually understand the risk that could come with something like that? I mean, I get it. I know you want to take care of your family, and there's a lot of pride in that, and I commend you for it, but that can actually be a really dangerous situation for you. There are going to be times where you need a professional to come into the home and help with something. Make sure that you have a policy that's going to pay for something like that. So this policy is going to give you a lot of education on how much money is spent every single year by American citizens receiving care at home, because eventually they just need a professional to come in and do that. Okay, let's go down and let's look at really quickly here. Base plan benefits. Home care indemnity benefit. So the benefits that are available is up to $1,200 of weekly maximum benefits. Up to. So that's going to be the maximum, with a choice of either 13, 26, 39, or 52 covered weeks. This plan has a lifetime maximum of equivalent to 2 weeks worth of covered benefits. So let's say this person gets a 52-week plan. That means they're going to have 104 weeks worth of benefit built onto this plan. But for each period of care, it's only going to pay for 52 weeks. So if you were to max out this plan, if you just maxed it out and it paid $1,000, you did a $1,200 plan at 52 weeks, that's $62,400 times 2 periods. That's $124,800 that this plan is going to have built onto it for home health care. Now, the way that plan will work is, again, it maxes out after you have accumulated equivalent to 2 times the number of periods of care. So you have to exceed 52 weeks of care times 2. So let's say you buy a 52-week plan, but you only get 40 weeks of care. So you have 52 weeks of care times 2, which is 104 weeks of care total built onto this plan. But let's say you only get 40 weeks worth of care and then you get better. So you're going to minus 40 weeks of care. You still have 64 weeks of total care available to you, and you're only going to have 52 weeks of care available for one period of care, and then you have to get better or it will regenerate later, and then it'll give you another period of care that's equivalent to whatever you have left in the bucket. So the bucket is going to have 52 weeks times 2, or if you choose 39 weeks, the bucket is going to have 39 weeks times 2, which is 78 weeks, or 26 weeks times 2. You guys get the drift. So that'd be 52 weeks of care. So it's up to however much your client wants to pay. So you can actually reduce the amount of benefits it's going to pay per week for someone, or you can reduce the amount of weeks it's going to pay with a lifetime maximum of up to 2 times, with a waiting period of either 0 to 20 days. A lot of times, if I'm meeting with someone who has a Medicare Advantage plan, I'm going to give them that waiting period of 20 days. Why am I going to do that? Well, because they're going to have home health care and skilled nursing care available on their Medicare Advantage plan. And a lot of times it's going to cover them for the first 20 days at a $0 copay. So a lot of times the first 20 days is going to be spent with them getting covered by their Medicare Advantage plan. And they're just kind of trying to figure things out at that point. That's giving them that 20 days for this plan to kick in. So let's say we did this plan at 52 weeks and we did $900 a week. Okay, let's just do $900 a week. All right, $900 a week is actually not that bad if you do, because the average in America, and I actually think it talks about this over here. Let me look in the brochure. So the average in America is around $150 a day of care. I'm not going to try to dig through this brochure and find it for the sake of time. But the average in the United States for care is normally around $150 per day is what it normally costs for each day that someone receives care. So if we've got a plan that's paying up to $900 a week divided by 7 days a week, that's $128 a week, or $128 a day, excuse me, that the plan is going to have available. Now, the thing that's really nice about this plan is if it's paying not up to $900 a week, and you're only getting care 4, 5, or 6 days a week, then that $900 is going to amount to more money per day. We're doing a 52-week plan at a $20 or a 20-day waiting period. Let's hit quote and see what happens. So this plan is going to be $71.12 a month. We can also add a hospital indemnity to this plan. So let's say we go with the same figures that we went with last time. It's a benefit amount of $20 a day on the daily hospital indemnity. It actually, let me look at the brochure and find out how many days that's going to cover. We just passed it actually. It's right there on the right-hand side. So up to $300 for daily maximum with 20 days per period of care for hospital indemnity. So this plan right here just comes built in, structured with 20 days. So if you choose $200 of hospital indemnity, it's going to be 20 days worth of benefits. That's going to be $2, and that can't be right. Yep, that's additional $42. So for $42, they're going to get $200 per day for 20 days per period of care. Okay. Optional benefit riders, you've got an ambulance emergency room rider and a lump sum cancer rider. But right here, we're looking at $111.49. That 111, let's look at how much benefit these people are getting, guys. You've got 52 weeks of care times 2. That's 104 weeks times $900 a week. That means these people are getting $93,600 worth of care. Plus, they've got that hospital indemnity plan where it's going to cover 100% of their hospitalization if they were to go to the hospital. They're not going to pay anything, and that's $111 a month. Okay. This is really going to be for those people who are truly concerned about what's going to happen if they end up needing care around the home. It happens more than a lot of people are willing to admit. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but that's really going to be where this plan is going to shine. I used to sell a ton of this thing when I was selling full time, and we make a lot of money, guys. I mean, just look at that. Look at that premium on a monthly basis. It's $111. You multiply that by 12. That's $1,332. And then consider the fact that you're going to be hovering somewhere around 40% commission. That's going to be a pretty nice day for you. Money just gets deposited in your bank account. It's a good sale, and you did right by your client. So here's a brochure again. Anybody have any questions on this product specifically? Nobody. Okay, so we're going to get a whole bunch of sales on this next week, I guess. No concerns, no constructive criticism, anything from you guys? Nope. Okay, so you could actually add this plan to the cart, and then you could combo sell it with whatever other plans are available. And then for the sake of time, let's just jump right into the recovery care plan. So the recovery care plan is actually going to have a lot of other really cool stuff that are available for it. So this recovery care plan is designed for people who might land in a nursing facility and you have the ability to pay hospital indemnity benefits and home health care benefits. So you can, this is the other policy that we looked at is not going to pay in a nursing home. Okay. This policy is going to pay if you actually land in a nursing facility. And we get a lot of those clients who they need help on a regular basis. And so they get moved into a group facility where there's a nurse staff that's available to come visit with them on a regular basis. Obviously, you're not going to sell this policy to someone who's already in a nursing facility because these are underwritten products. So if they're already needing that care, you're probably not going to be able to sell it. But this is going to be very big for a lot of our clients. This is where we become an advisor and we let our clients know of the possible future that we have of possibly landing in a facility. If you drive down the road, there's assisted living facilities all over the place. And guess what? They're full. They're full for a reason. You can add a daily hospital indemnity benefit rider to this thing. You can actually add a home health care rider benefit to this thing. So let's start building out a quote and let's look at what this guy looks like. So nursing facility, we want to do, you can do up to a 10-day benefit. I'm not really sure why you would do that. So let's look at a 300 days worth of benefits. Okay. Let me go ahead and see if this regenerates. So, because this is rather new. So up to $300 daily maximum with a choice of 36 weeks with a lifetime maximum equivalent to twice the number of covered days. So there you go. So this is going to pay you could do up to 360 days of nursing facility on this plan, 360 days times 2. So this is actually going to give you up to 720 days worth of skilled nursing benefits, okay, on this recovery care plan right here. And I can pull all these brochures and I can order these products to be sent out to you guys for anybody who feels like they might need them. So let's do, I don't know why it's not giving me the option of 360 days. I have 360 days available to it. So let's do 300 days. Let's do a benefit, 360 days, benefit amount. That's benefit amount, $300 a day. So the average is $150 a day nationally. So let's just do $150 a day. Let's do for 360 days. And let's do a waiting period of 20 days. Let's quote this sucker and see what we come out with. $72. It's pretty inexpensive, guys. I mean, you're going to give this person how much benefit? Let's do $150 a day times 360 days times 2. That's $108,000 worth of benefits you're giving this person if they were to land in a nursing facility. And you could do the optional home health care rider where it'll pay $150 a day for, let's do 26 weeks. Let's go ahead and quote it out, see how much it changes it. It brings the premium from $78, from $73, $78. It only adds a couple of bucks to make some of these benefits available right here. So I mean, that's really inexpensive, matter of fact. I mean, we could actually jack this up to 52 weeks and increase that to $300, and let's hit quote, and it's probably not going to, I mean, 90 bucks. It doesn't increase the premium very much. And we've also got the hospital indemnity where it gives you a guarantee of $10. You have to have that $10. It's built onto the plan. But if you want to increase that to $200 a day for 20 days, let's get rid of the home health care rider, or let's maybe bring this down back to where it was, and let's quote these all out together. So for $111, ironically, that's what the other product we were quoting was coming out to as well. So we've got $150 a day in a skilled nursing facility for 360 days times 2 with a 20-day waiting period, $150 per day in a skilled nursing facility, okay? We've got $200 per day in hospital for hospitalization at 20 days of hospitalization per occurrence. And we've got a $150 per day for assistance at home. It doesn't have to be in like the recovery care plan, or excuse me, like the hospital indemnity plan. You had to have a hospitalization in order for it to pay. This policy right here there's no hospitalization required. Home health care benefits, you just need help with your 2 out of 5 activities of daily living: eating, toileting, bathing, clothing, cognitive impairment. You're just going to need to be able to meet some of those. You're incapable of meeting some of those activities of daily living for this policy to trigger at the $150 a day, $150 a day. This is $111 a month. Guys, you start selling these products and you start becoming passionate about these products, and I guarantee you, if you guys are really running a decent amount of appointments, you could pick up a few of these a month. If you pick up a few of these things a month, it's going to transform your business. It's going to transform the amount of money that you guys are making. And it's also going to transform how well you're taking care of your clients. You are going to really transition out of just being that Medicare agent to someone who's really advising your clients on the big things. And don't take what I'm about to say personally, but when we're only selling Medicare Advantage plans, you guys do realize, and this is just a fact, you guys are leaving your clients with tremendous gaps and tremendous exposure to what their expenses can be if they end up needing care. You guys are leaving massive gaps. Leave it to the client to decide that they don't want this. Don't decide for them that they don't want this. Talk to them about these things, show them the brochures, let them know that they can have a policy that instead of being $0 a month and having all these gaps, you can get them a policy that's $111 a month, and they're going to have all of those extra additional coverages. And in closing, on the last training that we did, and this was the one that was loaded up on YouTube, the one thing that I think where this policy really, where these types of products will really, really shine, especially that hospital indemnity plan or some of these recovery care plans, think of it like this. We often are going to run into clients that are on a Medicare supplement. They're paying a tremendously high premium for that med sup. They're also paying their premium for Medicare Part B. They're also paying for a prescription drug premium. They don't have dental. They don't have vision. They don't have any of those over-the-counter products. And they're looking at a Medicare Advantage plan and they're thinking, man, that Medicare Advantage plan has so many cool bells and whistles that I want, but I don't want to give up my supplement because I don't want to be stuck with these huge bills, but I'm paying this huge premium on a monthly basis. Those people are perfect. If you were to show them a combo of this hospital indemnity plan and a recovery care plan, a hospital indemnity plan with a $30 a month premium, the recovery care plan with $111 a month premium, we're looking at $140 a month. You've got someone who's paying $280 a month for a med sup, plus they're paying another $20 a month for a drug plan. Think of it like this. You move that person off of a Medicare supplement onto an MAPD plan that has a zero premium and the prescriptions are built in, and there's dental built in, and there's vision built in, and there's over-the-counter products built in, and you gave that all to them at $0 a month. So you just saved that person $300+ a month, right? Okay, instead of just saying, hey, I can save you $300 a month, how about this? you say to this client, Jane, did you know that Medicare nor Medicare supplements are going to cover this home health care? They're not going to cover this nursing care. They're not going to cover some of these things. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. Well, here's what we could do. How about instead of you paying $200 or $320 a month, what if we were paying $150 a month? What if I saved you $110 a month today? That would be great. Perfect. I can save you $110 a month. I can get you on that Medicare Advantage plan. It includes your prescription drug plans. It includes dental. It includes vision. It includes some hearing benefits. It includes over-the-counter products. And it includes that package of $115 a month, right? That package includes $100,000 of skilled nursing facility or $100,000 of home care benefits, $100,000 of nursing home benefits. It's going to have no hospital copay because we've got it built in there. It's going to have care of, whatever, $150 a day times 26 weeks times 2, whatever that ends up being. Let's just call it $40,000. It's going to have $40,000 of home health care benefits. It's going to have all of that stuff built in there. You're getting all the things that you've been missing, plus you're getting additional stuff that you don't currently have coverage for, and I'm saving you $120 a month. They're going to love you. Plus, you're getting a Medicare Advantage sale and you're getting 1 or 2 of these supplemental product sales. You just made $1,000 on one client and you saved them $120 a month. You just did your job. And you guys are rolling with the big boys, those agents that are making tons of money in this business. You guys are rolling with them now. You guys are making lots of money per household just by doing these combo sales. Broaden your wings, expand your horizons, right? So let's start going in there and start quoting these products and pulling the brochures and studying them and start learning how to sell these supplemental products. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up for questions and dialogue. What do you guys have for me? Do you guys have questions? Do you guys was this training valuable? Do you see value in these products? Do you think they suck? Tell me why. What's going on? Anybody?
Hey, Brent, this is Daniel.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, with presenting these products, what can you tell us to be best practices in terms of how we introduce them, especially if we're meeting with the client? We're talking about Medicare Advantage plans, scope of appointments, anything that can just make us efficient at capturing the business, whether it's same appointment, different appointment, that type of stuff.
Absolutely. That's actually a really, really good. So one of the cool things about hospital indemnity products, short-term care, short-term supplemental products, skilled nursing products, those are healthcare products. They are healthcare related products. So there are a lot of products that are not healthcare. There's a couple of questions in your question that you asked, Daniel, so I'm going to break them down one by one. The first thing is you actually can sell this product in the home at the same time as an MAPD plan. A scope of appointment actually will allow it. There are some generic scopes out there that allow people to check off things like hospital indemnity and short-term, long-term care products, but they're hard to find those scopes, but they are CMS approved. However, these products are healthcare related products. You're not allowed to sell non-healthcare related products at the same time as an MAPD plan. The scope of appointment won't allow it, so you'll have to go back at another time if you wanted to sell like a final expense product or something like that, right? But if you wanted to sell a skilled nursing, long-term care, or a hospital indemnity product, you actually are allowed to, as long as the client gives you permission, you're actually allowed to sell these products at the same time, because the Medicare Advantage plan is going to leave those gaps in care, and you're using this policy to supplement those gaps in that care with their health-related products. So you're allowed to sell this at the same time. So don't worry about that. You just need to make sure that the client fully understands and that your guys are taking really good notes and that you're covering your tracks in your CRM or whatever note-taking process that you have. As far as best practices or presenting these products, and my recommendation would be we're going to do another training later on down the road. Actually, it'll probably be a really good training that we could do next week, where instead of us doing the trainings on these products, what we should probably do is do a training on, when we're sitting down with clients, what is a good, appropriate fact-finding process that we can go through where it's going to open up. I like to look at, I hate to use the term wounds, I really do, but I almost feel like a lot of clients that don't have these areas of coverage, it's almost like they've got a wound that they don't know about, right? Like they've got an exposure, they've got something festering that they don't know about, and it could turn into a real problem for them. So if you have a fact-finding process where you're asking certain questions in a certain way, it's going to open up that wound and it's going to expose it, and it's going to allow them to realize you don't want to give these people nightmares. You don't want to scare the heck out of them, but it's going to help them realize that they should be pretty nervous about some of the possible exposures that they have. It's going to help expose that. It's going to help them realize how vulnerable they are because of the fact-finding process that you have and the questions that you're asking while you're taking notes. And then it's, well, okay, so what are your thoughts on that? We have products that can actually help you with this. We have a process, and rather than saying I have a product that can help you with that, maybe it's we have a way of, instead of paying $0 a month, if you could pay $40-50 a month, you can have all of this instead of paying $0 a month and just having what you have. It's not hard to protect yourself from these things, Jane. It's not hard. So next meeting, we should probably go through a really good, deep fact-finding process of how to open these things up and to do that. But as far as best practices is concerned, again, as long as it is a health-related product, you can actually sell these in the home at the same time as an MAPD plan. Just make sure that you're taking good notes as to why you sold that product in combo with an MAPD plan. You'll be fine. Does that answer your question, Daniel?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You got it, man. Any other questions?
Hey, Brent,
Yeah.
one thing that worked, I would say 9 times out of 10 for me, it's always difficult to bring up, okay, how do you introduce another product when they're talking about health insurance? And as I'm starting the summary of benefits and the review, I will pull out, knowing what plan that I'm presenting, and I will pull out and I'll set on the table either a hospital plan, vision and dental plan, something like that, and I'll set it there and I go, now this is going to explain extra benefits. Please remind me to go over this after we're done with the summary benefits. Now you're putting this on them, and when they say, hey, can you show me what you're going to show me here? Now you're it's kind of a little tactic, but it works like a charm, and now it's their idea. They want to know about the benefits, and they're a lot more open to it.
So that's actually a really good approach. It really is. It's not a bad idea whatsoever. And there's another one that I like to use as well that works really well. And this one takes a little bit more time than what Bob just said. So if you think that you're meeting with the person and you're going to try to get it's the first time you've met with this person, and you really want to try to get that sale today, for some reason time is of the essence. You need to get this done today. What Bob had just said is actually a really good strategy. It really is. Now, let's say you're meeting with someone and this person's going to be going on to Medicare. They're going to be turning 65 in a couple of months. They haven't applied for Medicare Part B yet. And you know you're going to have a second appointment with this person. You know you're going to have one. So you're doing your collective fact finding. You're getting all of your notes and you're getting prepared and you're scheduling them for your next meeting. You're letting them know what they need to do. You need to go apply for Medicare Part B. We're going to meet again in a couple of weeks. When you return in a couple of weeks, my advice would be that you actually have a proposal. So you've got that Medicare Advantage plan and you've got those indemnity plans printed out. You've got those proposals side by side so that you could sit down with that person and you could say, I've got a plan for you that's only going to cost you $70 a month. And they're going to go, oh, okay, tell me about it. Because I heard there were plans out there that are free. Yeah, there are plans out there that are free, and you are left exposed to this. You've got high hospital copays. You've got skilled nursing copays. You've got this. You've got that. You've got this. You've got that. And for only $70 a month, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that. You're not going to have that. You're still going to have your Advantage plan. You're still going to have your dental vision, whatever. And so you can build it out together where you have that combo sale, where you approach someone like it's a package. Rather than saying, hey, here's a Medicare Advantage plan. By the way, can I sell you another plan that covers those things? I mean, you don't want to present it that way. Now, what Bob is doing is saying, hey, here's another policy over here. Please don't let me forget to tell you about this. And then when you're going through that presentation of that Medicare Advantage plan, you got to put extra emphasis on those big costs. Yeah, you got a hospital copay, and it could be $1,400. So, you just got to be mindful. The plan is $0, but you got to be mindful that you're going to have that copay. You got to be mindful of this, Jane. You got to be mindful of that. put some, with your highlighter, highlight some of those big expenses. And then when that client reminds you about that policy that Bob was saying you had set aside, this is going to cover all those things. It's only going to be $48 a month, right? So we have more and more clients that are not wanting to buy supplement policies anymore just because Medicare Advantage plans are really competitive. Supplement plans are expensive, especially considering they don't offer dental, vision, hearing. They don't offer all those things. Clients are sick of not having access to those benefits. Advantage plans are just too competitive these days, but there's tons of gaps. So Bob's method is really good if you think, okay, I got to try to get that sale today. We're trying to close things up today. The other method of coming back later with a proposal of all the package deal put together, that's probably going to be for when you're doing a second visit. It's a little bit more refined. It looks a little bit better, but it also takes a lot more time and maybe a second appointment. So you go about it how you want. But we can definitely go through the process of good fact finding and how to open up these exposures and how to really gather those details and those informations. So yeah, that's that. So any other questions or concerns before we close things up? And I want to know if you guys think that this has been valuable for you guys, and if you guys actually think that this is something that you guys can start selling. And if not, tell me why.
Hey, Brent, one other comment. Everybody knows if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you make a practice of offering this every single sale, even if you know deep down inside this person's going to say no, this is how you learn how to take care of objections, especially if it's the worst client that you have. You know that they're not going to be interested, but it's good practice. And especially on the ones that you know are going to say no, I ask anyway.
Oh yeah.
And this gives you good practice on that. And the more you ask, the more comfortable you're going to get, the more you're going to handle objections, and you'll be selling these every single time.
100%. I agree with Bob that, and I mean, every single time there's going to be clients that you don't get that sale, but you're going to sell it every single time. You should sell it if you make a practice of asking and talking about it and educating. And if you guys ever wanted to do any role playing where you could come to the office and we could sit down and we could practice this process, I'm here. I would love to do that with you. So what I'm going to do, guys, is it doesn't really sound like anybody else has any questions. We're going on an hour and a few minutes now of the training. It's only slotted for an hour and 15, so I'm going to let you guys go. Right now, it's actually slotted for an hour and 20. So we're actually closing up right at good time. So is there anybody that thinks they would like to try to get some of these materials ordered, try to get some learning and understanding, better understanding? They could get it in their hands and they could start reading. Is there anybody that thinks that they would like to get some of those sent out to them, and
Hey,
we
Brent,
can try
this
to
is
help
Jack.
get that going?
Hey, Brent.
Yeah?
Yes, I would
Here.
love to.
Who was that said that? Mark Sutton?
This is Mark Sutton.
Mark, what's up, man? Okay.
Hey, how's it going, Brent?
Good, brother. All right. So we got Mark. Was that Jack? I thought I heard Jack, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Jim, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else think that you guys? I'm not monitoring the chat really. So is there anybody else that thinks Maricela and Daniel? Perfect. Okay. I'm seeing Seema saying, "Yep, Seema." Okay. So guys, if you guys think
Scott's
that you
afraid
would
to
like,
say it, but he wants some too.
what was that?
I said Scott's afraid to say it, but he wants some too.
Yeah. We'll get some ordered over here at the office. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and Jack, I did hear you that last time. Sorry, buddy. We're going to get this posted online onto the YouTube channel. For those of you who want to dive more into this and want to run through this training a couple of times, please do. It's there for your viewing pleasure. It's there to help you guys. I'm going to get some of these materials ordered out for those who said that they want some. And you guys can always log online and pull copies of these, okay? So you guys, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. If you guys have any questions, concerns, you want to call me, set up a call, set up another training or whatever, that's great. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing what the next week's training is going to be on. I really hope to see every single one of you guys there. Hope you guys are finding value in this. Be safe, guys. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Thanks, Brent.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Brent.
You got it.